The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, is Africa's largest hydroelectric project and one of the most significant infrastructure initiatives on the continent. Located in the Benishangul Gumuz region of Ethiopia on the Blue Nile River, the GERD is designed to provide a transformative boost to Ethiopia's economy, but it has also sparked geopolitical tensions with downstream countries, particularly Egypt and Sudan, due to concerns over water allocation and rights to Nile waters. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, is a 6,450 megawatts hydropower project nearing completion on the Blue Nile in Ethiopia, located about 30 kilometers upstream of the border with Sudan. It will be the largest hydropower project in Africa. Owned and operated by the Ethiopian Electric Power Company, the 145 m tall roller compacted concrete gravity dam will flood 1,874 square kilometers at a normal pool elevation of 640 meters, and will have a tributary catchment of 172,250 square kilometers. Key facts about the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam location: Blue Nile River, near the Sudanese border. Construction start date: April 2011. Planned completion date: originally set for 2017. Construction delays have pushed the timeline. Power generation began in 2022. Total project cost estimated between $4.5 billion to $5 billion. Installed capacity: 6,450 megawatts of electricity. Reservoir capacity: 74 billion cubic meters of water, making it one of the largest reservoirs in Africa. And primary purpose: hydroelectric power generation, with some irrigation benefits. Objectives and significance: 1. Energy production. GERD is expected to more than double Ethiopia's electrical generation capacity, providing electricity for millions of Ethiopians and allowing the country to export surplus electricity to neighboring countries, such as Sudan, Djibouti, and Kenya. Once fully operational, the dam is expected to generate 6,450 megawatts of power annually, positioning Ethiopia as a major energy hub in East Africa. 2. Economic growth. Ethiopia sees the GERD as a vital project for transforming its economy. The energy produced by the dam will power industrialization, economic development, and improve living conditions by supplying affordable, reliable electricity. It will also help the country to shift away from reliance on traditional biomass fuels like wood. 3. Electricity exports. The dam's surplus energy will be exported to neighboring countries, creating an important revenue stream for Ethiopia and contributing to regional cooperation in the energy sector. By selling power to East African neighbors, Ethiopia hopes to boost its economy and foster greater regional integration. 4. Reservoir and water management. The GERD will create a vast reservoir capable of holding 74 billion cubic meters of water. While the dam is primarily designed for power generation, the stored water can provide some irrigation benefits, though this is secondary to the hydropower function. The reservoir is also expected to help in regulating the flow of the Blue Nile, reducing the risk of floods downstream in Sudan. Construction and timeline. Construction began in 2011, and as of 2023, the project is in its final stages. Power generation began in early 2022, with the dam expected to be fully operational within a few years, and built by Cellini Impregilo, an Italian construction firm. The dam is largely financed by the Ethiopian government, with Ethiopians contributing through bonds and fundraising campaigns. Geopolitical and environmental impacts. While the GERD holds immense promise for Ethiopia, it has created tensions with downstream nations, particularly Egypt and Sudan, which rely heavily on the Nile's water for agriculture, drinking water, and power. 1. Egypt's concerns. GYPT is almost entirely dependent on the Nile River, with more than 90% of its freshwater coming from the Nile. Cairo fears that the GERD will reduce the flow of water downstream, particularly during the dam's filling phase. As the dam's reservoir fills, Egypt worries about reduced water availability, which could affect agriculture and drinking water supplies. 2. Sudan's position. Sudan has a more complex position. While it shares concerns over reduced water flow, especially during dry years, Sudan also sees potential benefits, such as reduced flooding and the possibility of cheaper electricity imports from Ethiopia. The dam could regulate the Blue Nile's flow, providing Sudan with more consistent water resources for agriculture and hydropower generation. 3. Diplomatic tensions. Ethiopia, Egypt, and Sudan have engaged in multiple rounds of negotiations mediated by international bodies such as the African Union and the United Nations. Although Ethiopia has reiterated that the dam will not significantly harm downstream countries, a comprehensive agreement on the filling and operation of the dam has not yet been reached. Egypt has repeatedly pushed for legally binding terms on water release, which Ethiopia has resisted. 4. Environmental impact. The dam will cause significant ecological changes, including habitat alteration and the displacement of some communities. However, the regulation of water flow and flood control could have positive effects on downstream flood-prone areas. There are ongoing environmental assessments to monitor the long-term ecological impact. Current status. By mid-2022, Ethiopia had begun partial electricity generation from the dam, a major milestone in the project. The dam is around 85% complete as of 2023, with ongoing negotiations and discussions between Ethiopia, Egypt, and Sudan on its future operations. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is currently about 94% complete as of early 2024, with expectations to finish construction by the end of 2024. Benefits and challenges. Benefits: energy independence. Ethiopia will become energy self-sufficient and a regional electricity exporter. Economic growth. The dam will support industrialization and economic growth, reduce poverty, and improve quality of life, and regional stability. By exporting electricity, Ethiopia may foster regional cooperation, providing energy solutions to its neighbors. Challenges. Geopolitical tensions. Disputes with Egypt and Sudan over water rights could escalate into larger conflicts if not resolved diplomatically, and environmental impact. Potential long-term impacts on the ecosystem and the displacement of local populations remain a concern. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is nearing completion, but significant challenges remain in these final stages, particularly around regional water politics, technical engineering tasks, environmental management, and financial sustainability. Addressing these challenges will require diplomatic finesse, international cooperation, technical expertise, and long-term environmental planning. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, has made significant progress, but several challenges remain in the final stages of its construction. These challenges are both technical and geopolitical, involving complex engineering hurdles, regional water politics, and environmental concerns. The ability of Ethiopia, Egypt, and Sudan to reach a cooperative agreement on water sharing is critical to the region's stability and the long-term success of the GERD. Without a comprehensive water sharing treaty, the potential for conflict remains, but with careful management, the dam could become a source of development and cooperation across East Africa. The impact of climate change presents a growing challenge for the operation of the GERD. Droughts and changing rainfall patterns could affect both the filling of the dam and the long-term availability of water in the Blue Nile Basin. Ethiopia and the downstream countries need to develop robust strategies for drought management, ensuring that water remains available for all parties during periods of low rainfall. The absence of a formal agreement on how to manage water during droughts exacerbates concerns about future disputes. Exporting electricity is a key part of the dam's financial model, and Ethiopia is keen to sign power purchase agreements with countries like Sudan, Kenya, and Djibouti. However, the overall energy market dynamics in the region, including price negotiations and the development of necessary infrastructure to export electricity, remain obstacles. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is a transformative project for Ethiopia and the entire East African region. It promises vast economic benefits, increased energy security, and greater regional influence for Ethiopia. However, the GERD also presents significant geopolitical challenges and requires careful management of both diplomatic relations and environmental considerations to ensure that it benefits all stakeholders involved. Like, share, subscribe for more tips and inspiration. Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.